Welcome to question 3 of the 2008 Mathematical Methods Exam 1. In this video we will be looking at the solution and examination advice for this question. A reminder that this video is in no way endorsed by VCAA. So we're asked to solve the equation cos of 3x over 2 equals a half for x is an element of negative pi on 2 to pi on 2, both included. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to calculate the period for this function. So the period is equal to 2 pi divided by n, where n is the number multiplying x. So we have n equals 3 divided by 2. So that means the period is equal to 2 pi divided by 3 over 2. But instead of dividing by a fraction, we're going to multiply by the reciprocal. So we're going to multiply by 2 over 3. Which gives a period of 4 pi over 3. Next we're going to look at this value here, which is an exact value. And now we're going to have a think about in a unit circle what that means. So cos equaling a half is on the x-axis, and to get that value we need pi on 3 as our reference or basic angle. Another place that we can get it is in this quadrant, which could be negative pi on 3. So therefore we need 3x divided by 2 to equal negative pi on 3 and pi on 3. And now multiplying everything by 2, we find that 3x is equal to negative 2 pi on 3 and 2 pi on 3. And then multiplying everything by a third to undo the multiplication by 3 over here, we find that x is simply equal to negative 2 pi on 9. Or x is equal to positive 2 pi on 9. So they are the two solutions that we can find for this question. But you may very well ask how we know there's not more or less solutions than that. So the first thing we can do is verify that those two are both within negative pi on 2 to pi on 2. And the other thing we need to do is check that there's no more solutions. So if you were to add a period or subtract a period from either of those solutions, that would be equivalent to adding or subtracting 12 pi on 9, so that there's a common denominator. And if you did that, you'd go outside the domain that's given to us. Another way of thinking about this question might be from a graphical point of view. So if we do a quick sketch of the graph, then this is the graph of y equals cos of 3x over 2. And it had a period here of 4 pi on 3, and the graph would be repeated in this direction, and it would finish here at negative 4 pi on 3. And now this value here and this value here would be at pi on 3 and negative pi on 3, so that would still be in the domain, and this would be at negative 2 pi on 3 and positive 2 pi on 3 for the minimums, which means that our domain would cut the graph somewhere in between there. So these sections here wouldn't exist for where we're trying to find the solutions. So the only solutions that we would have for y equals a half, so that is cos of 3x on 2 equals a half, would be this point of intersection here and this point of intersection here, which we found to be negative 2 pi on 9 and positive 2 pi on 9. So from the examiner's report we can see that around 40% of students got full marks for this, with another 28% of students achieving 1 mark. Students were usually able to get one correct response, or at least write down that 3x over 2 needed to equal pi over 3. Solving this expression caused some students problems when the given domain was ignored. It resulted in either only one solution being found or too many solutions being stated. Occasionally students used incorrect values for cos inverse of a half, and that comes back to the need to know your exact values well for these exams.